Welcome to Reeling in Miss Cinema Express. We have Catherine Tresa with us. Hi.
Hi.
So, it's your third release in the year in Tamil.
Yeah.
So, Aruvam, you play as a character with anosmia.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and apart from the inputs of the director and whatever material has been given to you, did you have to do a bit of homework to get into the skin of the role?
Yeah, like you said, inputs from the director and whatever the script had given me. Besides that, I think it was very important for me as a person and as an actor, it is generally very important for me to understand where the character has come from and basically understand that character's experiences till this point of time, because I believe that it is our experiences that shape us into the person that we are today. So understanding that for me is very important. Now, Jyoti is a girl who hasn't smelt a thing since she was born. So we might, like, if we who can smell suddenly lose it right now, we'd probably go through hell. You know, it'll take a lot of adjusting again. But for someone who's never had it, you don't miss it, number one. But at the same time, you are acutely aware that you cannot smell and that is a disadvantage. You are at a disadvantage. As you can imagine, you know, there are a lot of places where she could be in danger, which are also shown in the film, and having a sense of smell would have saved, you know, her in that situation, but because of the lack.
I remember reading somewhere that when you lose a sense of smell, you also lose a significant percentage of your taste. So when you can't smell a food, you can't eat. I mean, the taste of the food reduces.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely, yeah.
And the film is film is about corruption in food.
Absolutely.
So does that incorporate in the script somewhere?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. As in, like the script, of course, primarily does talk about how we're dealing with food adulteration and how that is sort of a significant issue, of course, in Tamil Nadu, but also, you know, in India as a whole, and that's what we're trying to throw some light upon, because we find, I mean, it is obvious if you look at the statistics that the number of cases of cancer are increasing. It's on the rise like never before, and there has to be an explanation for what we're doing wrong. And I think it just comes down to the nonsense that we have mixed into our staples, right? And that has to stop. So we're trying to get people to sort of take a stand against it, at least. That is what the film deals with primarily. Number two, you're talking about my lack of smell and how 50% of your taste sort of dies off with it. Yes, your taste buds might not work as well as they should, but that really doesn't have much to do with food adulteration. They're different, you know, things altogether.
Looking at your body of work, you read Godfather, where you played a segment involved you playing the mother of a senior actor, and Madras was also very challenging role according to us. For a debutant in a new language, it was very challenging. But after that, a shift happened. At least for us, it seemed like that. All your films became commercial entertainers. Was it a conscious decision? And because some see commercial entertainers as a status, some try to walk towards it, try to achieve it, and some see it as a stereotype. So how do you see it?
Okay, well, like you said, you see it as a status or you walk towards it and so on and so forth. Now, to be really honest with you, yeah, you've been talking about my body of work and you talked about Godfather, and Godfather was like quite some time ago.
Well,
yeah, quite a few years ago. That's like 7 years ago. And then Madras came in 14. That's 5 years ago. And now we have Aruvam in 19, and then you talked about the commercial films. Aruvam is also like that, and Madras is a film that worked out well commercially. I mean, it made money, it was a hit in all segments. So I think that is the very definition of the word commercial to begin with. And number two, as far as the second part of your question was concerned, so every film that I've done is a film that came my way, and if I took it up, it's because, you know, I enjoyed, I liked something about it. I did like the script of it, and I thought, and I do like, you know, wholesome entertainers, and I love to dance, and I like all sorts of dance numbers. I think they're super fun, not just to do, but also to watch. So, and as an actor, for me, the most important thing, like what I strive for, is versatility. So I'd like to, you know, run the whole gamut, basically. So that's what I'm trying to do.
People tend to, when comparing genre-centric films, as I said, if you, the performance, or the so-called performance-oriented films, or the masala entertainers, the commercial entertainers, which reach a wider range of audience. So when people compare both the films, they tend to weigh down the masala films or the commercial entertainers, assuming that these are films which are very easy to perform or very easy to make. So what are the practical challenges that you face as a actor in a commercial film?
See, I think every film, no matter what the genre of the film, takes a lot of writing, direction, music, all of the crafts put together. It is no less if you compare one genre to the other. It's the same amount of work. As far as the performances and the challenges of an actor are concerned, I think it's the same amount of work. So you are required to look a certain way and look nice, and you know, that of course is definitely very important. And then secondly, now say for example you're doing comedy, which you would think is just light and it's so easy to do as compared to, you know, an angry scene where you're screaming your lungs out in another genre. But I think comedy is equally difficult. You know, it takes a lot on the director's part, the writing and the dialogues, to make the dialogue funny, and then the director has to you know, set up the shot in the perfect way. The actor has to have really good timing. That's how the joke or the gag is going to work. So it might just look like a cup of cake, I mean a piece of cake, but I don't think, I think there is a lot of thought that does go into it, and I think it's the same amount of effort. So even if you have to make things look glossy and make the visuals look glossy, that takes time to set up sets and, you know, to have that sort of lighting and make it look really glam.
So have you ever felt uninspired to go to work?
Yes, of course. I've worked quite a bit, so that's bound to happen. I don't like that. I don't like going to work uninspired. So it does take like a lot of effort, but yeah, there have been days when I do feel uninspired to go to work, and I'm not going to tell you when and where.
Okay.
But yes, that happened.
There's usually a myth or a rumor saying that if it's a female protagonist, the industry tends to categorize them based on their complexion or their the region they belong to. Are heroines being categorized in that formula?
Just because of where you are from, I
Yes.
highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. I don't think the region that you are from has anything to do with it, because yes, I'm from, my parents are Malayali. Of course, I was born and brought up abroad, but I think people see me fitting into all sorts of things. Like I've done some really high-end glam roles. I've like played a TV baron, I've played an MLA, and you know, really glam roles. And at the same time, I did North Madras. I played a person from North Madras, and over there as well, I think certain people did, you know, find me looking slightly out of place because I don't know, of the skin tone or the complexion. And as far as Kadavan was concerned, there was no makeup whatsoever to make matters worse. But if you go to look at it, so was the hero. You know, I don't think he was he didn't really fit in with everyone else. If you're just looking at complexion,
His physique maybe.
yeah, and even his complexion, you know, he is quite a fair person. So is Karthi. Karthi isn't a very dark person. So I don't know, but I don't think they put you, I mean, I don't think they cast me in the film because of my complexion. In fact, it would have to be reverse. you know, if complexion was the point, I mean, the criteria by which they were casting me, and everyone else is a different complexion, they probably cast someone who would match the complexion of the rest of the tribe or the rest of the area, right? So I think it was just about the faith that they had in me to pull off that role, and complexion was secondary.
Coming back to Aruvam, Siddharth had mentioned that the film could have easily been renamed as Jagajoti because
absolutely, yeah, that's what we would think. That's what I was rooting for, actually. No, I'm serious, because when we just started shooting, in fact, when the story was narrated to me, I was like, what are we going to call this film? And he was like, the director was like, I'm thinking Jagajoti. I'm like, wow, Jagan and Jyoti, this sounds cool. So I went into the film thinking this is going to be it. Of course, we're still saying it's untitled, it's production number 3. You know, just when we're shooting, it's like, it's production number 3 or 4 or whatever. So in my head, I was like, okay, whenever they do decide the title, this is going to be Jagajoti. Then we're nearing the end and my director is like, okay, now we have to finalize the title. I'm like, what? It's all, we decided, it's Jagajoti. He's like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, why? They're like, no, we're actually thinking of something else. Aruvam. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it means without form. So that's why Siddharth said, you know, because this is what we were all thinking about. That's the female and the male, they just go hand in hand in the film. They're both equally important, which is why we thought that the name would be completely apt, you know, because it's 50-50.
Sharing equal responsibility with the male protagonist. So how was it challenging in the first place?
It was amazing. It's not challenging. It was amazing, and I'm someone who just loves a good challenge every once in a while. Otherwise, life just gets boring if everything's easy, right? So I think it was absolutely fun. I did get to do quite a bit of heavy lifting in terms of you know, the scope of work in the film. It was good, and you should watch it.
What is a strict no for you? If I won't do this particular genre, or I won't take up a script which has this particular element, what is a strict no for you?
Nudity. I don't think I could do that. That would be a strict no.
They say dubbing for a film completes acting or completes an actor. Even I haven't got the chance to dub for your films in Tamil. So how do you see that? And when can we expect you to dub in Tamil?
You are absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. Dubbing does complete the job of an actor. And I so wish I could use my own voice to dub for myself, and I haven't. That's because of the
accent.
Yeah, and the language challenge that comes with that. I really hope to. I really want to soon. I've dubbed for about 2 Telugu films. I try out for every film. So I always you know, do a dubbing trial. Then I let the director decide. But over here in Tamil, I absolutely have to. I really want to. Like, I think that's something I absolutely have to do really soon.
You worked with A-listers in Telugu, but when it comes to Tamil, it's a mixed bag. So you've worked with all kind of actors, upcoming actors, the season ones. So do you see a difference in Telugu and Tamil industries?
I think the audience, like the Tamil audience in general, are very mature in the sense that you know, you can serve them new content in a film. Like, you can experiment, and if what you've done with the film is really good, even if it's a novel idea, if it's really good, I think they have a very good understanding of cinema, and they will lap it up and, you know, make it a commercial success. It doesn't always have to be, you know, on a particular canvas or following a particular template. They're more open to ideas and experimentation, and I think there are so many interesting genres that are happening or that are sort of coming up right now, which is actually quite nice. It's quite an exciting time here.
Great. So you've worked in all the South Indian languages, and how do you want the audience to remember Catherine? And who are your target audience?
Well, since I'm doing a film, like for example, let's just take a case study, so Aruvam. Who my target audience for Aruvam would be, ideally, in an ideal world, would be anyone and everyone who understands and speaks Tamil, and everyone else who will watch it for me, even without understanding Tamil. That would be my target audience. I would want everyone to watch it, even if they don't understand the language.
How do you want the audience to remember you?
How do I want to be remembered? Okay, well, what's very important to me, like the intention when I go to work or when I'm at shoot is when the audience see me like in a film, they should always be like, okay, Kathy, she did a really good job. Or I do not want a single person, or I cannot have a single person ever be like, no, I think someone else would have done a better job than Kathy. That is something I cannot live with. So I make sure that every single shot has my very best in it. So I'd like to be remembered as an actor who did justice to every single one of her roles, irrespective of the outcome of the film, and an actor who is versatile.
Okay. And you worked in a couple of multi-starers. Your recent Tamil films have been multi-starers, and the world famous Lover is also a multi-starer. So do you have any apprehensions? I don't think you have. So how do you approach a multi-starer?
Well, see, for me, I do it's a mixed bag, basically. So yeah, there are multi-starers, and those are pretty interesting films. They have really well written scripts, especially world famous Lover. I think it is a really well written story. And how I approach it is like how I approach any other film. I'm an actor at the end of the day, and if I like a particular character, and if I feel that this particular character has enough scope, and it gives me sort of a kick out of doing this artistically, I'd want to do it.
So you have no qualms of sharing space with
the more the merrier. Sure, you want to share screen space with me? Please come.
So,
stand next to me.
Great. What's the what's the top 3 things on your wish list?
My wish list at work would be to do a lot of different sort of films, like to sort of dabble with every genre, and to do really substantial, meaty roles and completely nail them. And to also better my skill set every day, to constantly make sure I keep learning and I keep getting better with every film. That's my wish list.
Great. So I wish you all the best for Aruvam and all your upcoming films.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.